I find horror mystery difficult to sell in classic fantasy RPGs, and I don't find adventures like Curse of Strahd scary or that mysterious. The pacing of a mystery is kinda broken when the puzzle solution is 30 minutes of fight these dire pigeons or whatever, and it's hard to be scared when you can just cast your fireball or axe to the face spell at anything that jump scares you. Stranger Things first season would have been a lot shorter if these kids were packing heat, but a lot less engaging. If you want to experience the danger of an average Joe facing off against the deadly unknown, let me offer to you Vaesen. Vaesen is an RPG released by Free League Publishing, or Free League if your ancestors raided England, a game in which a group of investigators reformed the Society, an organization dedicated to banishing, pacifying, expelling, or destroying monsters from myths and folklore, referred to as Vaesen. This is a blanket all for all supernatural or superstition-based creatures, like gnomes, trolls, mermaids, angry ghosts, animal ghosts, naked frog babies, and green Iggy Pop. These investigators are Thursday's children, individuals who witnessed trauma in their lives involving Vaesen, which permanently gave them the sight, the ability to see these otherwise invisible creatures. The game is described often as cozy horror, with a Sherlock Holmes vibe, and that pretty accurately sums it up. It's not intended as a fast-paced pulp horror as much as a Brothers Grimm-flavored mystery. This is very much a sleepy town with a mysterious secret type of vibe, where you'll take your time interviewing NPCs and searching for clues. Kind of a 19th century Scooby-Doo in the Witcher universe. Let's see who's under this mask. Frida Verkoyansk, the Countess's unborn daughter that was given an unsanctified burial. She was scaring everyone from the hotel to get back at her mom, and she would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for us meddling. Oh god, she's in my head! Get it out! It hurts! Get her out! Character creation is incredibly simple, with each archetype being a different 19th century clue character that starts with a special talent and preferred skills related to that archetype. The game pacing is very serial TV drama. The characters receive a mystery, make preparations and buy supplies, then arrive at its location. During this session, they explore and find clues, interrogate NPCs, get distracted by a B-plot, and discover what Vaesen they're up against and how to beat them in the climactic finale. You then head back to your HQ, where you earn and spend experience points and development points for your character and castle upgrades respectively, based on key roleplay questions at the end of the session. Castle upgrades reflect a slow rebuilding of the society, with upgrades like the infirmary to heal faster, or a gardener who knows how to make poisons. During the adventures, you'll accrue physical or mental conditions, the game's version of HP loss, with each point of damage and consequential condition you take lowering your skill rolls, which are a simple dice pool system combining your skill and attribute scores, then rolling that many dice. Roll a 6 and you succeed. You can push your rolls, which means taking a condition to re-roll everything not a 6, but taking even a few conditions can butcher your chances of success. I love this about the game. Every roll feels risky, which is great for a horror game, and players have to strategically decide when to accept failure so their character has the strength to succeed later. Take 4 of either physical or mental conditions, and you roll from a mental or physical critical injury table, based on which set of conditions you maxed out. Later on, you'll roll to see if you gained a permanent defect, or a permanent insight, like all-seeing, and getting an investigation bonus. It's simple, but short-term creates a sense of very human wariness, and long-term sets the feeling of a seasoned investigator scarred and hardened from their experiences. The Vaesen themselves and solving the mystery surrounding them are the core of the game, the real Palt and Kropka core. There are 21 in the book, each with a 2-page information spread, with gorgeous illustrations by the extremely talented Johan Egerkrans. The mechanics are actually very simple and mostly expressed through magical powers. Each creature has innate powers or defenses specific to them, like how a ghost can't be touched, werewolves get twice as many attacks, stuff like that. Unlike traditional RPGs, they all share the same 3 magic tables. Enchantments, which are parlor tricks and low violence type spells, curses, which are the most traditional mage spells meant to hurt people, and trollcraft, which are enchantments but way more intense. It's at the GM's discretion which spells to use for each Vaesen, but they each have access to all spells on the table. This allows the GM to use the Vaesen's magic for whatever vibe they need for that session. Each Vaesen has a ritual that is the true way to defeat them, and an optional secret condition that can change the effectiveness of that ritual if the GM wants some easy plot twists. The ritual is the method of banishing the Vaesen that the player's clues should help them piece together over the adventure. Notice also that I say defeat or banish the Vaesen. The majority of Vaesen literally can't be killed. They're intentionally designed to be overpowered and unkillable by mere humans, just like the real-life myths suggest would be the case. So usually your goal is simply to make them go away. You lure them into the salt circle and say the prayer. You destroy the mirror housing the Vaesen's soul. You have the ghost's living mother scold it for being an asshole. They can take conditions from damage just like players, and each condition they take changes their behavior. It's really neat having roleplay conditions in place of hit points. I adore this book. I adore the vibe, I love the art, and I love its rules-light utter commitment to mystery solving and role-playing a story. Now let's talk about its flaws. Instead of money, you have the resources stat, which you roll to see how many monies you're good for when buying something. It feels a bit forced or contrived sometimes. sometimes. And some of the skills have a lot of overlap hard to distinguish in some contexts, such as when to use inspiration versus manipulation, or vigilance versus observation, because they're typically used to achieve the same goals. The characters are also so simplified that honestly they don't have that much to distinguish them in gameplay, and often besides their starting talent, characters will feel too similar in their capabilities. In fact, the mechanics of the game overall don't feel very unique to the system itself. It almost just feels like Year Zero rule sets given some light flavoring, which I suppose is the point of a reusable game engine, but I feel like Free League's other systems did a better job distinguishing themselves. But I give the game credit for not pretending to be mechanically complex or focused on stat building, and the mechanics do the job enough that heavy role players and storytellers should be satisfied, while still providing enough structure to feel like a game. Overall, these are very personal nitpicks, and if anyone asked me if it was worth getting, I'd say I can make it real simple with 3 questions. Do you like slow-burning mysteries? Do you like simple yet effective game mechanics? And did you look at the Vaesen cover art and think, wow, that looks awesome? If you answered yes to these questions, get the game and take your friends braving the cold, dark depths of ancient Scandinavia. You won't regret it, but they might. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more blatant geeking out, and most importantly of all, I hope you get a game in this week. Take care.